Welcome to your daily global financial news roundup. It's December 16th, 2024.
Buckle up. We've got a lot to go over today. Commodities, crypto, even a potential tech boom.
First off, Davis Commodities. They're
Mhm.
usually trading staples like rice and sugar.
Right.
Well, they're going into the luxury wellness market.
Sure.
Signed a $15 million MOU with Dadvance Agarwood Solutions.
So they're going to be the exclusive distributor for their premium Agarwood oil.
That's interesting.
It's often called liquid gold,
Yeah.
used in all sorts of things. High-end perfumes, aromatherapy, therapeutic products.
Makes sense.
Big market, too, $1.5 billion. And it's expected to grow, 6.2% each year through 2030.
Wow.
Dadvance is even looking at a NASDAQ IPO,
Yeah.
trying to boost production, expand their market. It's a really strategic partnership. Could be good for both companies.
For sure. Okay, next up. Shiba Inu.
The crypto world. Always something going on.
They're launching a new meme coin called Shifu, SHIFU. They're doing an airdrop, giving it to holders of SHIB, leash, bone, all those assets.
Yeah. That's a pretty standard move in the crypto space. Reward the loyal people, keep the community strong, grow the ecosystem.
Interesting.
Yeah.
See how this new coin does?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Now, this one raises some concerns about worker safety. A Senate investigation led by Bernie Sanders
Oh, okay.
claims that Amazon warehouses are seeing way more injuries.
More than the industry average.
Yeah, significantly.
I see.
The report says Amazon is all about speed.
Putting speed over worker safety.
Exactly. And maybe even messing with injury data.
Wow.
But Amazon completely denies it. Says they're committed to safety, that they've even improved their injury rates recently.
Two very different sides to the story.
It definitely makes you think about working conditions in e-commerce. That whole industry is growing so fast.
Yeah, it is.
All right, changing gears a bit. Corporate finance now. La Major Vascular.
Medical devices.
Yep.
Yeah.
They just secured $150 million. Convertible senior notes.
Yeah.
Due in 2030.
So for people who aren't familiar with convertible notes, they're a type of debt, but you can convert them into equity.
Into shares of the company.
Exactly. Under certain conditions, of course.
Okay. And La Major is going to use the money for working capital, maybe some acquisitions.
General corporate stuff? Standard. Be interesting
Yeah.
to see how they use that capital. Grow their business.
Yeah. Okay. This next story has the crypto world buzzing, for sure. Michael Saylor.
MicroStrategy co-founder, big Bitcoin guy.
Yeah. He's saying that the incoming Trump administration might create a Bitcoin reserve.
A strategic reserve. Wow. That's a big idea.
He thinks the U.S. could buy a huge chunk of the Bitcoin network. Maybe sell off some gold reserves or even borrow money.
Borrowing to buy Bitcoin?
Yeah. He said a small amount.
Yeah.
He's also pushing for clear regulations on digital assets.
Well, he's not shy about his opinions, that's for sure. We'll see if Trump takes it seriously.
Definitely. All right. Analyst Dan Ives is predicting a tech boom with Trump back in office.
He's pointing to AI advancements, deregulation, all that.
Thinks the NASDAQ could hit 25,000 in 18 months.
Right.
He says Tesla is going to be the big winner.
Because of Elon Musk's relationship with Trump.
Right.
A lot of people excited about that in the tech world. But, predictions can be wrong. A lot can happen in 18 months.
Absolutely. Moving on. Reviva Pharmaceuticals.
What do they do?
They're a late-stage biopharmaceutical company. They just priced a public offering of common stock and warrants, trying to raise $18 million.
Okay. So a public offering, that lets them raise capital by selling stock, right, to the public.
Yep. They're going to use the money for R&D, working capital, the usual.
Makes sense. Pretty standard for companies developing new drugs and therapies.
From pharmaceuticals to sports now. The Ari Grand Prix Cyprus 2024 just wrapped up.
Oh, cool.
Seems like cycling is getting really popular over there.
How many cyclists were there?
140. And the sponsors, organizers, everyone seemed really optimistic about the future of cycling in Cyprus.
Yeah. Cycling is definitely growing as a sport and just for fun all over the world.
Definitely. Okay, Altisource Portfolio Solutions, they're restructuring their debt.
To strengthen their balance sheet.
Exactly. Reached a deal with lenders. Reduce their obligations. Extend maturities.
That's a smart move. A lot of companies do that to get more financially stable.
Gives them more cash flow for operations and growth.
We'll have to keep an eye on them, see how it all plays out.
For sure. Last one for today. A little skepticism about Bitcoin. Economist Peter Schiff.
He's not a fan of Bitcoin, is he?
Nope. He's comparing the current market to the dot-com bubble.
But bigger. And more dangerous.
Thinks investors are going to lose a lot when it bursts.
He's been saying that for years. Doesn't seem like he's changing his mind anytime soon.
Big news out of Australia. Meta's agreed to pay 50 million Australian dollars
Wow.
to settle a lawsuit. It was brought by the Australian Information Commissioner
Yeah.
over the Cambridge Analytica data breach.
That's a record, isn't it? For privacy in Australia.
It is. Largest privacy-related payment in their history. Eligible Australian Facebook users can actually seek compensation now. This is a pretty big deal for data privacy globally. Really puts the spotlight on those big tech companies and their responsibility.
Sure.
All right, switching gears a bit. President-elect Trump met with the TikTok CEO, Shouzi Chu.
Oh, interesting.
All this is happening while TikTok's fighting that potential U.S. ban in court.
Right.
TikTok's argument is that a ban would violate the First Amendment. They're also saying it hurts small businesses, creators, everyone who relies on the app.
Makes sense.
Trump hasn't really made his stance clear, though.
But he's said before that TikTok's popular with young voters.
He have.
This case could really change things. For social media regulation, content moderation, in the U.S. at least.
After crypto. Bitcoin and Ethereum prices have stabilized.
After that recent rally.
Exactly. It was all fueled by that talk of a potential U.S. Bitcoin reserve.
Makes sense.
Analyst Michael Vanderpop, he's saying we could still see volatility in the coming weeks.
Because the Fed meeting.
Yeah. The Federal Open Market Committee, they're meeting to decide on interest rates. That's going to have a big impact on everything, crypto included.
Probably.
Shifting to legal news now. Law firm Bragar, Eagle & Squire, they're investigating Seastar Medical Holding Corp.
What happened?
There's a class action complaint. Alleges misleading statements about the company's business.
Then regulatory prospects.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're also investigating Proficient Auto Logistics. Their stock price dropped significantly.
Oh, wow. What happened there?
There was a report on their anticipated operating and financial metrics.
I see.
Both of these investigations show how important transparency and accountability are in the markets. Protecting investors.
From fraud, misleading information.
Right. That wraps up the major financial news for today, December 16th, 2024. We saw a lot today, from strategic partnerships to regulatory battles.
And market volatility.
Definitely.
Today's news really shows how connected the global economy is and how fast things are changing in every sector.
For sure.
From commodities to crypto, tech giants to pharmaceuticals, every decision, every event, it all has an impact, creates ripple effects across the whole financial world.
Now let's think about what this means for you, our listener. You've been with us this whole time.
Listening to all this news, learning about what's shaping the markets.
Exactly. As you process this, think about how it might affect your own financial choices.
Are you thinking about Davis Commodities and the luxury wellness market?
Yeah. Or maybe the tech boom under Trump. Does it make you excited or nervous?
Makes sense.
Are you with Peter Schiff, worried about a Bitcoin bubble?
Or do you see potential in a U.S. Bitcoin reserve, like Michael Saylor?
Right. What about the Meta settlement in Australia? How does that make you feel about data privacy?
That's all important.
All these questions are worth asking as you manage your own finances.
The financial landscape is always changing.
Creating opportunities.
And challenges.
It's important to stay informed.
And engage.
Understanding what's happening lets you make better decisions.
About your investments,
your career,
your overall financial well-being. We want you to keep learning about these stories. Really dig into what interests you.
Don't just read the headlines.
Go deeper.
Question things.
Look for different viewpoints.
Find good sources of information.
That's what'll help you make good decisions. Navigate these complex financial markets.
With confidence.
Yeah.
Let's try something. Connect some dots.
Okay.
We talked about that cycling event in Cyprus, the Arati Grand Prix.
Right.
And earlier we were talking about Davis Commodities. Moving into luxury wellness with that Agarwood oil.
Yeah.
At first it seems like those two things have nothing to do with each other.
Separate things, yeah.
But maybe they're both part of a bigger trend.
You're thinking about health and wellness.
That's it. More and more people are getting into active lifestyles, like those cyclists in Cyprus.
Could be.
And Davis Commodities. They're betting that people want those luxury goods, the ones that make you feel good.
So we're seeing all kinds of industries react to this trend. People want to be healthy. They want to feel good.
Exactly. It's not just isolated events.
Makes you wonder, what other industries will jump on this?
Right. What about fitness tech? Healthy food, travel that's all about wellness.
Yeah, it's like everything's connected. One trend leads to another, creates all these new possibilities.
And that's why it's so important to stay on top of global trends.
Absolutely. You can see what's coming, spot the opportunities, maybe even become part of the change.
That's a great point. So listeners, pay attention, connect the dots, look beyond the headlines.
Maybe you'll be the one making the news next time.
That's all for our global financial news roundup today.
Thanks for listening.
We'll be back tomorrow with more news and insights. Until then, stay informed, stay curious, and stay ahead of the curve.